Hey everybody,
Hello, everyone.
Crystal and
Demetrius,
here
back again.
for video number 2.
Number two.
Y'all don't know how much stuff I just had to go through to even get him to be sitting here right now.
I'm tired. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. I know you'll probably be getting this late because we're not doing this live, but still, happy Father's Day. But I'm here.
So your Father's Day gift is a
Let
chat
me
about
just-
money.
Okay.
Yeah. So our topic today is having control over your money.
And the question is to ask yourself,
How much control do you have over your money?
right?
Now, this is my view because even my husband doesn't agree on some of these things. We just had a debate about that, about rich folks. We're not rich.
No, it's not about rich. I was just using an example of a rich person, but it's not even, it could be just a middle class person too as well.
You're right.
But
Okay, so that's why people are entitled to opinions.
Right.
That's why God gives us the freedom to choose.
Mm-hmm.
So we can choose what we want to accept, what we want to decline, what we want to let in
Right.
our ears, what we agree with, and all that stuff. So,
we're here to do this video
Mm-hmm.
to say that you don't have control over your money if, and my wife has come up with
7 points.
7 really good points.
Because this relates to us. So we're
Right.
talking, when we come on here with stuff, it's what's going on in our lives, and it's hopefully to relate to some other
Right.
married couples that are going through the same thing.
Either current in our lives or things we've been through. Mostly
Previously.
things we've been through.
And
we're
learn
just
from.
we learn from, and that's why we've come in with the education and the workshops to try to get you guys along the journey with us to free yourself and get yourself out of whatever financial debt you may be in or unawareness of, and become aware of a lot of different things that we weren't aware of and now are knowledgeable about. So, like she said, this is for the married couples, but why? I don't get why. Why not individuals?
I'm not saying not individuals, but we're
Jesus said, whosoever will, let them come.
right.
So it should be for everybody.
Right. You're right. But we're talking to married couples because we got here together. We got in this financial situation together, and we're gonna work and get out of it together because it was really easy to get into it.
Right.
So we're about to work very hard to get out of it together. It's not a
Right.
one side thing. So also because money is the number one source of disagreements in marriages,
Right.
even divorce.
It's
I
the
think
number one cause of
cause
divorces.
of divorce and
Mhm.
even disagreements in your marriage. It's
Early
all
marriages,
most of them
right.
is about finances. So that's why we're here too, because we know that we've had a lot of disagreements about money. We've had a lot of issues about money together. So yeah. So
Not a lot of disagreements, I wouldn't say.
we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, it's miscommunication about a
So
lot
that
of
was
stuff.
to me that was a disagreement because we wasn't eye to eye about money.
Okay.
So it got to the point where we wouldn't even talk about it at all. Only time we would talk about money when it was time to spend. It's true, right?
I guess so.
The only time we would talk about money is when it's time to spend. We ready to go spend or buy something. That's when we came in agreement about money.
That's true.
But anything else, paying off debt, having goals and plans, or saving, we never came to. And if we did, it lasted very shortly and went out the door. So, okay, so you don't have control over your money if the number one thing is you're not organized. So that's when I say organization, I mean knowing your liabilities, your assets, how much debt you're in, having the proper paperwork and documents, knowing where they are and how long to keep documents, which I believe is 5 years. Some documents is 3 years, some documents is 5, some documents are 7 years that you have to keep, like financial
Keep them all
documents.
for 7 to be
Yeah,
sure.
I would say 7 to be sure. But if you're not organized, you don't have control over your money. That's in any aspect of your life. If you don't have organization or
Right.
any order, there's no control. So that's the number one thing, like for your finances. If you're not organized and don't know how much debt you have, how much income you have coming in, how much assets or liabilities, then there's no way you can even start to do anything else with your money if you don't get organized first. Because even to have a plan or a goal, you have to get organized.
Right.
So we've been there. And most of the organization was always on me.
Yeah.
And when I would try to get him on board, I mean, simplifying and everything, which I do recommend for any wives or whoever is the best one to deal with the finances, I would say organize yourself and have something in place that makes it easy for the spouse to have access and understand. So that'll be a whole nother video. See, we just came up with another topic.
I guess.
Yes. So
Content curator.
content queen. I call myself content queen.
I guess.
But that's the number one thing, is to be organized. If you're not organized, you have no control. Number 2, you don't have an emergency fund. And we all know an emergency fund is supposed to be how much?
I don't know.
Not money, but it's supposed to be 3 to 6 months of your living expenses.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be X amount of dollars of your. Well, then yeah,
No.
that would be 3 to 6 months.
3 to
of
6
whatever
months of your living expenses. So whatever
right.
your living expenses are for the month, we're not talking about all the extra stuff you do. We're talking about rent, your car payment, insurances, groceries, your children, like your needs,
Not your wants.
not your wants. You need to have at least 3 to 6 months of that saved. Is that easy to do? No. But if you make up your mind to discipline yourself, you can get there. Even if you start with $5, just start the emergency fund. Because you never want to be in a place where you don't have the money. If you lose your income or whatever happens, you want to. And there's just something about knowing that you have that money there,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Same way a lot of people get when it's tax season.
you
You get real excited because you just know money is there.
Yep, you don't even have to check. You know you don't have to
Just
struggle
spend.
for a few months. You just oh, I got that money that that refund dropped. So if you want to look at saving 3 to 6 months of your expenses as a refund or whatever, it's just knowing that that money is there if something happened.
Right. And we know how
That feels
important that can be.
Yeah.
Because, when I had my medical issues and losing my job and stuff like that, it was tough to not be ready because we just knew with the good money that I was making that,
we were straight.
I mean, I'm young and I didn't think that, I would have a medical issue.
We were technically living
What I
paycheck
did.
to paycheck. Even though he
So-
was making good money, we were living paycheck to paycheck. So people do that. They could be making really good money every month, every year, and still live paycheck to paycheck. And that's what we were doing. We weren't saving anything. Like we said in the last video, we weren't saving anything.
Right.
We were just spending.
Just spending it. We had extra money because there was times where I could pay all the bills with like 2 checks out of the month and the other 2. And she says check to check simply because we weren't saving. So the other 2 checks would just be,
Spent.
we would just spend it. It was just like, free checks. And then we would just buy whatever. We just kept some nice shoes and clothes or whatever.
Yep.
And just
buying for the
always
kids
riding
and
and just wanted,
food
man, we're
I
food
think it was
junkies.
food.
I mean, there were times where she would look at our statements, and I remember it was like at one point it was like 3 or 4 months straight.
Of
We were
three-
like
like
$300 and $400 just
on
eating out alone
food.
on food, and that's just like, that's not even like eating out like expensive restaurants all the time. It was mostly
Chipotle.
small things, the $5 and $10 things that added up to $300 and $400 for 3, 4,
Yep.
5 months straight.
It wasn't
we
even
were
groceries.
doing that.
It was
It wasn't even the groceries. Yeah,
eating out.
I mean, that's on top of having groceries, eating at home too.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
So
which is
yeah, it's
bad.
so
Not
it put
saying
us to
that-
be check to check.
Not saying, and you have to be careful with that too, because then we will always say, once we notice how much money we spent eating out, we would be like, well, we got to eat.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta
Says
eat.
the
You gotta
foodie.
eat. So we would always be like that. So we put ourselves in a position to make it okay to be spending that much
You're trying
money.
to justify it.
Yeah, by saying, well, we gotta eat, you
Right.
know, but just thinking about it and imagining cooking at home or disciplining ourselves to have certain days that we go eat out or a certain amount of money we spend eating out, then we would have a lot of money saved. So just thinking about those $300 and $400 a month, I mean, think about where our emergency fund could be if we were doing the right thing. So having 3 to 6 months of emergency fund, your living expenses is good, and it's a relief. You can breathe knowing that if something happened and you lost your income, that you have the money there.
Right.
And you have enough there to give you some time to get over whatever happened, recoup, and get back to it without having to struggle or lose your house or lose your car, because we've been there.
Yes.
Because we didn't have the money, we've lost our apartment, we've lost our car, so we know how it is. So that's why we're here. We're not perfect, we're not rich, we're just here to help people get out.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, we're rich.
We are rich.
We are rich.
We're
I'll
just
take
working
that
on
back.
the wealth.
We're working, yeah. So
But it's coming too.
that's number 2. Number 3, you don't have a financial plan in place. You don't have control over your money if you don't have a financial plan in place. And that would go back to being organized, number 1. If you're organized, then you could put a financial plan in place, because then you know what you don't want to do, you know what you want to do, you know the reason why you want to get where you want to be, you know what debts to pay off, how much money you want to save. That's a financial plan. So not only having the right things in place, but having a plan is good to do.
Well, not only that, it's a map of, you know, what's important in prioritizing, which is the same as the first thing of organizing, but it's, you know, it's the mental map or putting down on paper, like, hey, this is the steps and this is the order of the organization and how I'm going to get out of the situation that I am into right now. I'm going to do this, and then I'll do that, and that. And then we'll work more. It's kind of like what you do with Northwestern, you know, and it's, you know, helping people with, you know, the insurances and things at first. And then later down the line, you know, as increased money, estate planning and working on different portfolio things and commodities and different things like that. So, you know, it's the map of the organization, basically.
Right.
Right. Am I saying that right?
I think so.
Okay.
But this is not only for the people that, like, because there might be some people right now watching that are debt free, don't have like the issues that we're dealing with or that we've been through, but you should still have a financial plan in place, because it's the map, like he said, to know where you're going. When you have a map to direct you, just like we use GPS and all that stuff, the financial plan is your financial GPS.
Right.
To put you in the right direction. So turn left, turn right. Go here, stop here. Don't go that way. Just like if you turn, it'd be like redirecting. That's your financial plan. So it's always good to have that in place. Number 4. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Right.
That's good. Who said that?
I don't know. That's just an old quote from, you know.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows that. Okay. That's in the Bible.
I think it is. Not worded that way.
Not worded that way, but it's in the Bible.
Right.
But if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That comes financially as well. And like I will always say, I've learned that you have to treat money like it's a person.
Right.
If you want a great relationship, you have to treat money well, and having a plan for your money is always good. You telling your money where to go, your money is not telling you where it's going to go. Number 4, you don't have proper insurance. You don't have control over your money. Benjamin Franklin said that?
Yeah, my boy. Be frank.
Benji.
Be frank. All right, go on. Let's go.
Number 4. You don't have control over your money if you don't have proper insurance. We've been here before. This can be a whole nother video on its own, but we
Right.
talk about the importance of life insurance, disability insurance, health insurance, long-term care, even renters, homeowners insurance, auto insurance. We all know that you have to have insurance in place. Now, the problem with society is they choose which insurances are more important, when in all reality, you should have all of them.
Right. And today's society
The most important
Important
insurance now
is
is
cell phone insurance. Go figure.
the most
We
important
want our cell
insurance
phone
now is
replaced.
having protection on your electronics. And people are choosing this over life insurance, over disability insurance, over health insurance, over car insurance. Like, people are choosing to have, this is just where the world is going. But it's sad. But people are choosing
But I
to
make
have,
money from my phone though.
I guess,
Your health is failing.
yes, your
know,
health is failing,
things like this.
but you find it more important to have insurance on your electronics. It's good to have, but you shouldn't have electronic insurance if you don't have life, disability, health,
Absolutely.
auto, renters. Like, you can always replace your phone and whatever electronics, but you can't replace life. If you become disabled, think about the debt you'll get yourself in.
Well, your spouse.
Your spouse,
because your
too.
spouse assumes that, don't?
Yeah.
Right? After death. So that's
Yeah.
why it's important. You know,
Not
they're
only-
already grieving, so why put that extra burden?
Not only after death, because let's think about the fact that people are living longer these days.
Well, yeah.
So if, say, my husband becomes disabled,
Right.
I will still grieve because I didn't have the proper insurance in place, and now
Correct.
I have to assume all responsibilities, yes,
Right.
and make sure things are paid for. And his debt is my debt. My debt is his debt. And if we're not properly positioned, then we're still grieving because now we're not financially ready.
Right.
So having the right insurance in place is so important. Disability, we've been through it. We said it in the last video that he's been through so many things health-wise, and we didn't have the right disability insurance in place, so we lost income, which set us back. And we didn't have an emergency fund, which set us back.
Right.
So you have to understand the importance of having everything in place. I mean, even renter's insurance. Like, you get an apartment, most apartment complexes now are requiring you to have renter's insurance, but it's something that you want to get anyway,
Right.
because that apartment complex can burn down, and it just so happen to be your apartment. You lose all your stuff. How will you replace it?
We had a few issues with our apartment, and in the last one we were in, remember, and even being the fact that we were over the model, so they would have to come in our. Remember there was a leak
All
once
the time. You gonna go
in
get him?
downstairs, and they had to come in our apartment and bust up our apartment to fix what was leaking downstairs, and
You gonna
so
go
it could have
get him?
created a big issue.
Or me.
I'll get them, the kids. Sorry, this is life. It's real. This is raw. No, don't go
gonna
too
bring the
far
baby
without
in
me.
here?
But just go ahead.
Yeah. So it's good to have the proper insurance in place, because, like we will always discuss, is that it's so important. And a lot of people will say things like, oh, I'm not going to use it, or why am I paying for this if it's never going to be used? But you never know what's going to happen, and that's the most important thing to remember. You are prepared for the unexpected. You are prepared for the unexpected. And it's always, my dad has this quote he always says, but it's always good to just be prepared before something happens, because you don't want something to happen and you're unprepared, because that makes life worse and it makes it more expensive. So, sorry, excuse him for the children. They're always calling. Number 5, you don't have control over your money if you don't have a side hustle. A side job, a part-time, stay at home, work from home, a business. We're talking entrepreneurship here. I'm a big advocate of entrepreneurship. So is my husband. We're all about side hustles. We're all about business, because you can't depend on a job these days. These are not the golden days anymore. You can't depend on a job anymore to be your support, your main support, because we were just having this conversation, and Even if you're making $100,000 plus on a job, it's still not secure because you can be fired any day. It's not yours. You can be the best employee ever, but you're still not secure because they can do a budget cut and decide to cut you the next day you go into work. So this is why having a side hustle is so important. And it doesn't matter what it is. And right now, me and my husband, we are big advocates of network marketing, MLM, direct sales, relationship marketing, whatever you want to call it, attraction marketing. We are big advocates of that because it works. Like, network marketing works. And if you haven't realized that every business is kind of on the same model of network marketing, you have to tell people about what you do, just like an employee. What does an employer do? They put an ad out that they're hiring. Then people come in, they apply, and if the employer decides that they want them, they'll bring them in. It's the same thing with the network marketing business. You're telling somebody about your business. They either say yay or nay. They come in and they become a part of the business, making their own money. That's what it does. So having a side hustle is so important. It's not just about network marketing. It could be anything, any skill. Like, I like to do business consulting. I'm a big advocate of startup. I like email marketing. There's so many things that I like to do. My husband cuts hair every now and again. That's a side hustle. Like, whatever skill or talent or gift you have, you can make it into a side hustle to make extra money. That could be a part of your emergency fund. That could be a part of your financial plan. Well, it should be. This is a cushion to fall back on to make that extra money that you're not making from work. This is something that you want to do to help yourself be secure in your finances. And we'll go more in depth with that as well. Number 6, you don't have control over your money if you don't have a financial team. It took me a long time to learn this, but you should definitely have a financial team in place because you can't be an expert at everything financially. So when I say a financial team, I mean a CPA, an accountant. You should have an accountant you can call on no matter what level of money you're making. You should always have an accountant on your team for tax purposes, to make sure you're managing your money right. If you have a business, you want to make sure you manage your money correctly and have the proper tax things in place. Having an accountant is not just for the wealthy. It's not just for the wealthy. You should have somebody like that on your team to ask questions because they can help you in more ways than you know. You should also have an attorney, and we're talking for estate planning. We're talking for real estate. Having an attorney is good to have, and we have a way that you can get an attorney for less than you think it would cost. We'll talk about that more. Having a insurance and or financial advisor, because these days financial advisors, most of them offer insurance and things like that. So it's always good to have an insurance advisor and a financial advisor on your team. I'm an insurance advisor. I also do financial planning, business planning. So I'm here as well. I have my information in the description box, and I can help you get your insurance going and financial planning going and help you save some money. So it's always good to have a financial team in place, especially if you're serious about your money, because you always should have experts. Google is not always the answer. You should always have an expert that you can call on to talk to about things. And number 7, I wanted him to come back for this one. Is that him? Number 7. Okay, good. You came back just in time. I went through 5 and 6.
Okay.
Which is you don't have control over your money if you don't have a side hustle.
Okay.
And you don't have control over your money if you don't have a financial team in place.
So what did you say about side hustle? That's a good point.
A side hustle, I said, sorry for the repeat if you're here, but I knew he would want to say something about this part. a side hustle, any skill, talent, or gift that you have. It's always good to have a side hustle as a cushion. It could be a part of your financial plan. It could be a part of your emergency fund. Is to have that to fall back on because you don't know what could happen with your job any day. Doesn't matter how much money you're making on your job or how secure you think you are, you're not.
Right.
Unless you own that company, you're not secure, like I said. So to have a side hustle to fall back on, or just to be making that extra income that you're not, that is filling in the gaps from what you're not making on your job, is
Right.
good to have. So I did say a little bit about how much we believe in network marketing and what it does for people. And just side hustles like you cutting hair, you do it every now and then to make a little money. Just a lot of things, painting. I didn't mention that, but you paint, you make extra money. So it's about your skills, or if you don't feel like you don't have any skills, you do, because you're working a job. If you're working on someone's job, you have skills that you can take from your job and make side money from it.
Well,
but we're in the 21st century, and
Right.
just say this, we are in 2017. If you're not making extra money outside of work, you should be.
Right.
If you're not making passive or residual income, you should be. Can't stress that enough.
Right. That's right.
Okay.
I didn't want to say much, but except the fact that, I mean, well, like she said, we truly believe in network marketing and, what it can do for you. But not only that, like she mentioned one thing, like, I cut hair and things like that. And then also painting. I grew up painting houses and carpentry and things like that with my dad. But a side hustle is not, I wouldn't really consider, it's a side hustle like the cutting hair, but I don't do it enough to pay a bill. You know what I mean? So we want to say a side hustle that can actually pay a bill. Now, where it's like, say,
You do enough to pay a bill.
well, so I'm about to say, like, at least like the painting, house painting,
Yeah.
because I easily, like, last week. So it was
I
I spent about 3-4 days at a house, and
maybe like
the first 2 rooms I did was almost $400, and then the next 2 days was $150 a piece. So it was about $600-700 in about 3 or 4 days in these people home, So we're talking side hustles like that, something that can really pay the bills. Now, don't get me wrong, cutting hair here and there, $15-20, it will help.
works.
It does help
Yeah.
because I also do Uber here and there sometimes. So, that brings in, sometimes depends on where I go and how long I'm out, but that's an extra $80 to $100 a day sometimes.
So just having a side hustle,
Right.
period, is always good to have. Even if it's $5 or $10, it all still counts. Because even if you feel like it's not enough money to pay a bill, imagine if you did it all month. It probably will add up by the end of the month to pay a bill, or
Right.
half of a bill, or whatever the case may be. So just a side hustle, period. Start your own business. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just do something as a side. No, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter what it is. Don't go out there doing illegal stuff.
Yeah, please don't.
But a
The
good...
Claytons did not encourage that. So don't say, the Claytons, because they're going to look at you like, who are they? And
Yeah,
we don't care.
We didn't...
So, but we got a
didn't-
service for that.
We can't encourage you to go do illegal stuff, but having a side hustle is always good. We're big advocates of entrepreneurship. So
Absolutely. Oh, okay. You can jump ahead to where you were. You went over.
7, financial team.
Oh,
I went over that
that's-
already.
Yeah, that's good.
Number 7, I wanted you to be back for this, because number 7 is you don't have control over your money if you're not communicating your money.
Within the marriage, with your spouse,
Mm-hmm.
or even with money itself.
Yeah.
Because we're firm
communicating
believers.
with your money.
We're firm believers. There's a spiritual tie, and we know that you can talk to it. It's a spirit, and you can attract it by speaking it.
Yeah. You can attract money
and
by
telling it what to do.
speaking and affirming and yeah.
But
Speaking
within the
good
marriage,
word.
of course, because we're talking to married couples specifically, you have to communicate about what's going on, because that was our greatest issue. It was the demise of everything. It was the underlying issue
For
of all of our
everything.
problems, because we weren't communicating. Like she said earlier, it was only when it was like, you want to go to the outlets or something.
We had
It was
no problem with
And
that.
I was like, okay, you
There
want to
was-
get your hair done, your nails
Yeah,
done?
of course. Like,
Because I want some shoes.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how it
So-
always would be. That was our communication. It's like he would shower me with stuff because he wanted to go do something or buy something. You know, men's shoes are not cheap, so we talking $200 pair of shoes. And he know for me, I could get about 5 things done with $200. So that was our communication. We communicated spending, which was not good for us. And it's not good for any married couple if you don't
Right.
communicate everything else. So we didn't face reality. We knew that we had to save. We knew that we should be saving. We knew that we wanted to buy a house. It was so many things that we knew we wanted to do, but all we knew how to communicate was spending. Because we knew that was a way to bring us together, because we liked shopping.
Right.
So that was time we spent together. If we had date nights, we were spending. There was no budget in place, nothing. There was no limit. We didn't go out saying we're going to spend this amount of money or that amount of money. We just went and spent. And a lot of the times when we got home or the next day, oh, I shouldn't have bought this. Oh, I'm going to take this back. Oh, why you let me spend this much money? Oh my God, why did we spend this much money?
Right.
It was like that the next day. But did we take anything back? No.
And if we did, it was mostly me. I never wanted her to
Take
return
my stuff back.
anything. I would
And
feel
I didn't
bad.
feel bad. I
Of
didn't feel
course.
bad. I was like, I'm not taking
But-
it back. I bought it.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, not every time that I would take anything back. It was just, I was like, man, why think of this now? You know, when you should have thought of this before.
But
know?
you knew why it was like that? Because we didn't have an emergency fund. We didn't feel safe. Like, if you know you want to go buy $200 pair of shoes, or in my case, go get my nails done. Like, everything I go get done at the nail shop, I spend at least $60. That's nails, toes, eyebrows, whatever else. So what makes you feel bad at the end about it is the fact that we didn't
Right.
have an emergency fund or nothing saved. So
Right.
there's no way we can go in our bank account and be like, I'm good with spending $200. I'm good with that. Nothing's gonna happen. I got the money there if something happens. I'm good.
Right.
We were never in that place. So that's why we would feel guilty, but we didn't feel guilty for long.
Right.
We could go out a whole week in a row, 7 days in a row, and spend.
And just keep repeating that
And
cycle.
keep repeating that
why did I
cycle.
do this? And go back out later that day.
Yep. Then we would dread. Yep. That is how it was. And we would dread it. And then, pay the bills for 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks, we balling. We balling. That's how it was. So this is where the communication came in, because then once the time came back around and all the money was spent and we had to wait to get some more, living paycheck to paycheck, and we had to wait for the next check to drop, direct deposit. Then we fussing and arguing throughout the week. And, we don't have the money to spend this. And we don't have the money to do this. And, you can't do that because we ain't got the money. But then, soon as the money come again, we're out spending and having a ball together. And see, a lot of couples realize that that's where the problem is that you're doing it together. Like, if nobody is saying, okay, let's stop and just step back and look at what we're really doing,
Right.
it will continue to spiral out of control like it did for us. And then you got to pick your mouth up off the floor. Pick your whole body up off the floor like Christine. Sister Christine. Remember that meme where she laid up?
Oh, you talking about?
What's her name? It's Christine.
I think so. The girl that tried me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all know who we talk about
Okay.
on Instagram, but you be laid all out because, oh my God, I don't have any money. But if you position yourself, then you'll be okay. So communication is always the number one thing, especially for married couples. Just not communicating, being on one accord.
Right.
It should have been the first point, but I
Should
wanted
have,
it to be last because if you're not communicating, and if both people are not on board, you can't do everything else.
Right.
Simple as that. One person in marriage can't be for something and the other one not for stuff.
that's true.
So that's all we have for today.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a quick
I knew it wasn't.
get through the points. I mean, yeah, I knew it wasn't.
I told him to look at this as episodes because
EP2,
EP2,
season 1.
season 1. So just to go through them really quick, you don't have control over your money if you're not organized. You don't have control over your money if you don't have an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months, more if you can afford to do that. You don't have control over your money if you don't have a financial plan. You don't have control over your money if you don't have the proper insurance in place. You don't have control over your money if you don't have a side hustle. I find that so many people be against side hustles. Why?
I don't know,
That's
because
another video.
they want to be on their job for 40
Yeah,
years
like,
to
I don't-
retire with nothing,
Right.
just to go back and be like a lot of these elderlies we see in Walmart as greeters and stuff like that. And it's like, why are you 65, 70 years old on this job? You should be at home enjoying your retirement. But people, I don't know, it's a whole nother video and we're not going to get too much into that.
You don't have control over your money if you don't have a financial team. And you don't have control over your money if you're not communicating.
Right.
You have to communicate with the money and you have to communicate with your spouse. Okay, so that's it for EP2,
EP2,
Fearless Money Workshop.
Fearless Money Workshop.
Couples edition.
Coming with Fearless Money Solutions.
Yes, which we'll talk more.
We have to be fearless about this thing, guys. You know,
Don't be scared. Because
don't
you
be
know,
scared.
another thing too, I realized,
scared.
this is going to be for the moms though, but I realized that I had a horrible relationship with money, and now I'm working on healing my relationship with my money.
And that's just for moms.
Not just for moms, but it was something I was going to do for the mom. So look out for that if you're a mom. I'm going to be coming out with that because it's more of a personal thing for me. But yes, you can have a broken relationship with money, and I believe you need to know how to heal it. Just like I would heal my broken relationship with my husband if we were in that place.
Oh, touch me right there.
If we had we did have a broken time in our lives, and we're healing. Because all of this, yeah.
I love the show. Like Della Reese. On Harlem Nights, I love you, little old girl.
But yeah, you have to heal the brokenness with your money because there's a lot of words and stuff that can be spoken, a lot of thoughts that you could be thinking, and you don't even realize it, and that's why you can't have money and you stay broke and stuff like that because just a lot of different things. You rushing me now?
No.
You said okay. But okay, we're out. Episode 2, 40 minutes again, but it's all good because this is a ministry and this is our testimony, and we're helping other people get out of it as we get out of it. We're not in the valley anymore, but we like almost at the top of the mountain. We at the top of the mountain because we're here doing this video. So pretty much we're at the top of the mountain because probably this time last year we wouldn't be sitting here together like this.
Whew.
It's real deal, transparency, true story. We wouldn't be sitting here like this, doing anything like this together. So I praise God, give God all of the glory.
Glory, glory, glory.
All of the glory. So until next time.
Until next time.
Remain fearless when it comes to your money. Don't be scared. God created money for us to be abundant.
Amen. Amen.
Not lack.
Amen.
Okay, so we're out. Until next time.